100 hours. Some of the most fantastic boss fights I've ever fought, 1600 recipes, all of my energy to make a video, and I'm done. I've completed it. I'm PB&J Guy. You should subscribe to my YouTube channel. I like to torture myself with hard challenges, and this is how I made the Soul of Eternity in Calamity Infernum. For those who have not seen the previous videos, this is the crafting tree. It requires defeating every single boss in the game, and I decided to do it on the hardest difficulty I can, Infernum with Eternity enabled. The creators of these mods do not recommend this, as they are not compatible. However, we ball. What does it take to craft the Soul of Eternity on Infernum difficulty? After beating the vanilla progression, you are left with 5 bosses. 7 if you want to be technical. These are by far the hardest bosses in the game. The Profane Goddess, the Devourer of Gods, Yharon, the Resplendent Phoenix, the Exomex, and the Supreme Witch Calamitas. The Profane Goddess is arguably the easiest of these bosses. Having just defeated Moonlord, I have access to solar armor and the upgraded Biome Blade, the Arc of something or other, which is a fantastic weapon for this fight. The Arc of the Elements is simply a product of fighting bosses, so you should have all the resources. Before you can fight her, you must fight her guardians, but they give you unlimited flight, so this fight is kind of a joke. That puts you in to deal with the Profane Goddess herself. And I would be a fool to say that I did not struggle at least a little bit with this fight. But right as I was getting the hang of it, something changed. And all of her attacks got harder to see, so I had to relearn the entire fight. It was strange. Of course, as all bosses do, she died, but something felt off. Once she's dead, the Devourer of Gods is next. The Devourer has 3 envoys, all of which were a cakewalk. I was very confused about the difficulty. That's when I noticed something. At some point, Infernum had been disabled. I am pretty sure this was during the Profane Goddess when her attacks changed. At this point I had put well over 40 hours into this project and I was worried that it had all become pointless. Would people care if the video was a fraud? A man who had not actually beat the whole thing in Infernum? Unfortunately, this was not the end of my woes. No time for that now. We must fight the Devourer of Gods. This is one of the hardest fights I've ever fought. I know some people think it's easy, but it just wasn't for me. There are items that are nearly required just to dodge the boss. It has several phases, it moves at ungodly speeds, it deals insane contact damage, and I deal almost nothing. There are a few things you need to know before even attempting this boss fight. You need the Elixian Aegis? It's a shield. This shield allows for dashing through attacks, well, through contact damage. Very similar to the Eye of Cthulhu shield, but instead of bouncing off the enemy, you dash right through them, without taking any damage. The first phase is hard if you do not know what to do, but there are only two things you need to practice. Dash left, and dash right. There's a way in Calamity to rebind dashing to a single key press. I bound it to my side mouse button, and so I fought. And I died. I fought hundreds of times. I got new weapons that are better for the boss, and I continued to die. I got close to the end, and I still died. Hour after hour, death after death, things becoming hopeless. Every time I thought I understood the boss, a new phase started, and I died once more. He had so much health that practicing the last phase took forever, and if I ever got there, I just died again. Day after day, I fought the Devourer, for almost an entire week, and I didn't know if I could keep going. This video had taken so much out of me already. I died again. I had just played Terraria's hardest seed for 100 hours, and now I'm playing the hardest mod, and I don't know if I have the energy in me. And I died again. I sat on the beach and pondered if I could abandon the project, as I died again. But no, I said, as I died again. The sunk cost fallacy will not allow it. I died again. I have already embarrassed myself by fighting multiple bosses on an easier difficulty. I died again. Quitting now would merely prove that those wins were as false as I felt they were. I died again. I had to push through. I had to win. It wasn't a matter of pride at this point. It wasn't a matter of views. It was to show myself that I'm not a washed college student who cannot beat a simple mod. I may not be good at video games. I may not be the person who can win first try. I may not be the one who sees through the patterns and can just beat a boss easily. No, I may not be good at video games. But no one can say that I'm not willing to smash my head against a brick wall until one day I break through. Oh my word. Yharon was a fun boss. After fighting the Devourer, most of Yharon's fight is already practiced for. Dashing with good timing has been ingrained into my mind, and into my muscles, and into my very ontology. Maybe I died a few times, but in the end Yharon was a joke compared to what I just faced. Which only leaves one. A singular boss. Her name is Calamitas. Well, there is one more boss before Calamitas that I was unaware of when I began fighting her, the Exomex. And honestly, I know a lot of people struggle with this fight, but it didn't take me more than 5 tries, and I don't have a lot to say, other than start preparing for them early so you don't have to go to sleep and wait all night for them to finish decoding all the special stuff. If you ever play Calamity, you'll know what I mean, just look it up. It's kind of annoying. And as they die, I get their resources, and it's time to kill Calamitas. Little did she know that she presents the challenge I am here for. The bullet hell archetype for a fight is my bread and butter. I am very good at Enter the Gungeon. I am very good at Risk of Rain. Bullet hells are what I was born for, and her fight is simply that, a bullet hell. Congratulations, that's it. That's not the end. I thought it was over. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. How do I skip this? Oh, that works. I just want to be able to see. Unfortunately, even after I farmed all of the bosses, killed Calamitas, farmed them some more, got a bunch of items, collected all of the things required for the Soul of Eternity, I learned why Infernum is not compatible. The mutant completely breaks the game. I cannot finish this legitimately. So, I cheated in his drops to craft the Soul of Eternity. And yeah, it was incredibly busted. I beat the Supreme Witch almost entirely without moving. I guess if there is one takeaway from this video, don't give up on your dreams. Play games for enjoyment and not for video deadlines. And, for the love of all that is good and holy, listen to a mod creator and do not just say, "We ball." Am I unkillable?